General Hospital spoilers reveal Michael Corinthos and Sasha Corbin should have never broken up to begin with, since they made a perfect couple. Now that a few years have passed and Sasha's pregnant with his baby, can Michael convince her to try becoming a couple again? Could marriage even be in Sasha and Michael's future? Such a cute little family, it's plain to see that Michael and Sasha still care deeply about each other. A recent scene from the ABC soap had the duo looking like a cute little family with Michael's kids, Wiley Corinthos and Amelia Corinthos. Michael even made a remark about the children being so comfortable with Sasha and loving her. Since Jason Morgan brought Sasha to help collect Amelia from Drew Kane and Willow Corinthos' house, Michael thought that was a good call. If Sasha and Michael do have a merry chapter ahead of them, we have no doubt that Sasha will be an amazing stepmom. Michael and Sasha didn't break up because they fell out of love in the past. Michael and Sasha were a wonderful couple since their love was deep and they worked well as a team. Michael supported Sasha, even when she confessed that she wasn't the long-lost daughter of Nina Reeves and that Valentin Cassadine had paid her to carry out the charade. Michael and Sasha didn't part ways due to a lack of love. Their relationship ended only because Sasha made a selfless choice, allowing her boyfriend to marry Willow and maintain custody of Wiley. Although Michael and Willow did fall for each other, he always held feelings for Sasha, which is a sentiment shared by his family as well. Willow's love for Michael was shallow, since she surrendered to her feelings for his uncle Drew and launched the destruction of their marriage. Had it not been for Willow's malevolent twin, Nell Benson, attempting to gain custody of Wiley, Michael and Sasha might have married and lived happily ever after. One big happy family, Sasha and Jason have been selling a fake baby daddy story to the people of Port Charles, but GH fans know Michael is actually the father. Sasha has clearly expressed her desire to raise the baby on her own, but with Michael back home, might she change her mind? Michael isn't longing for Willow anymore and has no intention of trying to win her back. It's clear that Michael's goal now is to protect the children since Willow's got them in an emotionally unstable environment under Drew's roof. As a result, Michael is seeking sole custody in a heated battle that's about to explode. GA's weekly preview video features some serious courthouse curveballs, like Carly Spencer outing Nina as the person who had Drew drugged and Sasha going into early labor on the witness stand. General Hospital spoilers say Michael will rush to Sasha's side and support her through the baby drama that's brewing. That'll bring Sasha and Michael closer, so it might pave the way for the blissful family they could ultimately form. General Hospital spoilers for the next 3 weeks, June 2 to June 20, reveal that Drew Kane's downfall will begin while Giovanni Gio Palmieri deals with a torn heart. Christina Corinthos Davis' mess will also get worse, so let's talk about all the tight spots and looming conflict. As the week of June 2 to 6 continues, Gio will confront Lois Cerullo and Gloria Cerullo over his secret adoption. It'll be hard for Gio now that he knows the people he loves lied to him, so he'll have some rage to get off his chest. Brooke Lynn Quartermaine didn't know Gio was her son, but she still gave him up and will continue to face backlash as a result. In the meantime, the custody feud will bring some serious drama. Michael Corinthos and Willow Corinthos will be ready to fight for their children, but some shockers are coming up at the courthouse. Carly Spencer will ultimately expose Nina Reeves as the brains of the Drew drugging operation, so that'll throw Drew and Willow for a loop. Rick Lansing and Diane Miller will get down in the mud for their clients, but it'll be up to the judge to decide Wiley Corinthos and Amelia Corinthos' future. Unfortunately, the court proceedings will get derailed during Sasha Corbin's time on the stand. Rick may fluster Sasha with paternity-related questions, since we know she's about to spin out emotionally and go into early labor. Michael will immediately go into protective daddy mode, so it won't be long until Carly launches a confrontation with Jason Morgan over his fake father act. Meanwhile, Lucky Spencer will pop the question to Elizabeth Baldwin, but will she say yes to his marriage proposal? GA spoilers say Lucky will look within and accept a harsh truth about himself. That could mean Liz will reject Lucky's ring and force him to consider whether he's shoving himself into the box of settling down. Lucky isn't really built for a steady, simple life in PC, so could he end up roaming around the world again pretty soon? Whatever the case, Lucky will have some deep topics to ponder. Meanwhile, Christina's crisis will get more complicated. Alexis Davis will struggle to hide her embezzlement, especially now that Marco Rios suspects money laundering and is asking so many questions. There'll be more fires for Alexis to put out along the way, but she'll keep doing whatever she can to protect Christina. After Anna Devane interrogates Jack Brennan about what he knows, she may have a discovery to share with Jason. Anna will end up voicing some suspicions during her upcoming Jason discussion, so we'll see if this might tie in with Sonny Corinthos' mysterious foe. The week of June 9 to 13 will bring more custody case fallout after the judge presumably delivers a ruling. Will it be Michael or Willow who scores the win? Either way, Michael will fret over Sasha and their premature baby. It's doubtful that the show would be cruel enough to have another one of Sasha's children face a grim fate, but there may be some scary moments anyway. As for Drew, his downfall could begin once Curtis Ashford and Portia Robinson manage to locate Jacinda. Curtis has a plan to use Jacinda and hopefully neutralize Drew, so this could be the beginning of his losing streak. It's clear that Drew needs to start paying the price for all his manipulative behavior. The week of June 16 to 20 will likely bring more WSB action. Jocelyn Jack's summer research assistant gig will give her the access she needs, but could Professor Henry Hank Dalton get suspicious of what she's really up to? Emma Scorpio Drake will continue to hold a grudge and could become obsessed with figuring out what Jocelyn's true motives are. Regardless, Jocelyn will end up growing closer to Vaughn through this mission, so some passion may erupt before long. Back with Gio, he'll be torn between wanting to shut out his family and craving their acceptance, so he'll have a lot to mull over. It'll take some time before Brooklyn and Dante Falconeri can convince Gio to bond with them, but Rocco Falconeri may help bridge the gap. Rocco will no doubt want to connect with Gio as brothers sooner or later, so maybe that'll help open Gio's mind when it comes to connecting with Dante and Brooklyn too. At some point, Gio will likely face Harrison Chase's pressure to give Dante and Brooklyn a real chance. Chase will want to make things right somehow, so we'll see if his efforts help. Back with Carly, she'll have a sweet present to pass along to Brennan. Trina Robinson will also have to console Kai Taylor, so there could be an unexpected post-surgery complication to worry about. For a few years, it was almost a running gag with General Hospital fans, wondering what new, fresh hell the soap had in store for put-upon con-turned heroine Sasha Gilmore Corbin. Ever since Cody rescued Sasha from Ferncliff in 2023, Sasha's life has been positively idyllic by soap opera standards, but now it looks like GH might ruin poor Sasha's life again. From the looks of the General Hospital promo this week, there's a possibility that this soap might do the worst possible thing to Sasha. She might lose another baby. In the promo, Sasha is on the witness stand at Michael's and Willow's custody hearing when she suddenly starts feeling contractions. She tells Michael the baby is coming, but it's too soon. Sasha could be giving birth to a preemie next week, and anything can happen. We just don't want the worst to happen because we have had quite enough of Sasha being the Port Charles whipping girl. Let's look back at all of the ways GH has tortured Sasha. In 2019, Michael took Sasha to Sonny's Puerto Rican island for a little vacation. That's where they ran into Cassandra Pierce, who had a bone to pick with Nina Reeves. At the time, most of Port Charles believed that Sasha was Nina's daughter, so Cassandra poisoned Sasha's drink with a strain of avian flu that nearly killed her. Nina was by her side the whole time as Sasha battled the infection. Remember when Sasha selflessly faked an affair with Chase so that Michael would marry Willow? so he would win custody of Wiley. She was so distraught over losing Michael that she turned to drugs. One night, Cyrus took Sasha back to his apartment, where he gave her one of his mixed drug concoctions that ended up inducing a near-fatal heart attack. After surviving that, Sasha cleaned up her act, temporarily. In 2021, Sasha found herself pregnant with Brando Corbin's baby after a one-night stand. She decided to keep the baby and be a single mom, just like she's decided now. However, during the pregnancy, Sasha and Brando fell in love. The pregnancy went smoothly until the very end. Esmond Prince locked Sasha and Gladys in a supply closet at Ava's gallery, thinking Trina was in there. Sasha's water broke, and she did not get to the hospital early enough to detect a placental abruption. Little Liam was delivered by C-section, but his brain was deprived of oxygen, and he died a few days later. After losing Liam, Sasha turned to drugs again, but did her best to hide it from Brando. After Sasha and Brando married, Sasha got high one night and ran down Willow's alleged mother, Harmony, leading to Harmony's death. Gladys covered up Sasha's crime and drug use, but a photographer had some snaps. When the photographer harassed a crazed Sasha, she took a tire iron to his windshield one night and smashed the heck out of his car. That led to wealthy supermodel Sasha being placed under a conservatorship with Brando as her conservator. Not long after getting clean, Sasha tragically lost Brando when he became a victim of the Hook serial killer, who turned out to be Heather Weber. That's when Gladys volunteered to be Sasha's conservator, with the intention of doing the right thing. Instead, she started taking money from Sasha's account to fuel her gambling addiction, which led to, when Gladys got in too deep with Selena Wu's gambling ring, she was desperate for Sasha's conservatorship to continue. Sasha was on the mend and had filed the paperwork to gain her independence back. But Gladys hired a fellow gambler, who also happened to be a psychiatrist, to sabotage Sasha. He gave her a combination of the wrong meds on purpose, leading her to have a psychotic break and attack Cyrus with a knife at the Metro Court pool. That led to Sasha's stint in Ferncliff, with Cody coming to her rescue. Now, Sasha has been clean for a few years, found a life as the Quartermain cook, and is about to have another baby. Please, DH, don't take this one from her and allow Sasha to find happiness at last. General Hospital spoilers for Tuesday, June 3, reveal that Jason Morgan will face a Carly Spencer crisis, while Alexis Davis offers a money laundering answer. The divorce hearing will also start, so there'll be a lot happening for Michael Corinthos, Willow Corinthos, and plenty of other characters around Port Charles. For starters, there'll be more drama at the Quartermain mansion now that Giovanni Gio Palmieri has interrupted Brooklyn Quartermain's confrontation with Lois Cerullo and Gloria Cerullo. Once Gio hurls questions and accusations, he'll have a lot to process, and he'll no doubt want to do it alone. In the meantime, Brooklyn will grill Lois and Gloria about whether they pressured a dying woman to keep their secret. It sounds like Camilla Palmieri wanted to come clean to Gio after she got sick, but Gloria and Lois may have warned against it. Next, Jordan Ashford and Jen Sidwell will have a conversation with Professor Henry Hank Dalton about how he's going to change the world. Jordan will also spend a little private time with Professor Dalton as they get better acquainted, so they may flirt as Jordan fishes for information about the project he's working on. At the law office, Alexis Davis will wonder if Marco Rios is asking her if she's laundering money. Now that Marco has figured out the Shell Corporation setup, he's definitely suspicious about what's really going on. Alexis surely won't divulge too much, but Marco may assure her that he knows how to be discreet and that he'll help in any way he can. While Alexis provides an answer to Marco and tries to handle her latest crisis, Jason will face one of his own. Carly will vow to do whatever it takes to get her grandchildren away from Willow, but Jason may worry about the lines she could cross to make that happen. Jason might remind Carly that Michael is back and that he needs to be the one taking charge of the situation with Diane Miller's help. At Sonny Corinthos' place, he'll get an apology from Dante Falconeri. Now that Dante realizes what it's like to learn he has a grown son that he never knew existed, he'll understand Sonny's perspective more. It seems Dante will wish he'd handled things differently when their own father-son bond came out. Sonny will also have a chance to confide in Jason on Tuesday's GH episode, so they'll talk about the news of Michael's homecoming, as well as all the Geo updates. Over with Trina Robinson, she'll land in a situation where she feels the need to rush to Jocelyn Jack's defense. That could involve defending Jocelyn to Emma Scorpio Drake if more conflict breaks out between them. As for Rick Lansing, he'll get on the phone and warn someone to get down to the courthouse now. Will Rick be trying to rush Nina Reeves along or summoning someone else instead? Since General Hospital spoilers say Rick will coerce Alexis on Tuesday's show, he might force her to meet with him ahead of the divorce and custody proceedings. Here is your General Hospital spoilers sneak peek video for June 3, 2025. Gloria might have made a semi-compelling argument in Lois's defense on Monday, but Brooklyn wasn't buying what her grandmother was selling. The truth is, Brooklyn was a grown woman by the time Geo became an alleged orphan, and she could have been his mother, but Lois and Gloria took that chance from her. When Geo returns to the Q mansion, he also has it out with his grandmother and great-grandmother, but during the conversation, Brooklyn gets a shock. She asks Lois and Gloria how they pressured Camilla into keeping their secret when she was on her deathbed. While Brooklyn deals with her Bensonhurst past, Dante opens up to Sonny about the Geo reveal and tells his father that he owes him an apology. As the custody hearing begins, Michael and Willow arrive at the courthouse, as do their family and friends, although Willow does not have many friends at this time. Carly tells Jason that she is going to get her grandchildren away from Willow and Drew, no matter what. However, Rick seems to have something up his sleeve, as he tells someone to get to the courthouse ASAP. Maybe Rick just wants Alexis to send more money to his shell corporation, but that might be easier said than done. Alexis finds herself in the hot seat when Marco questions the legitimacy of the investment fund, where Alexis has been moving Ace's money. Alexis pretends to be offended by Marco's accusations, hoping that will be a good deflection, but Marco has too many questions. He is a smart lawyer and knows something is up. Alexis might want to have a talk with her secretary and tell her not to go above and beyond anymore. Marco's dad makes it to opening day at the Metro Court pool because apparently there are no pools around his castle on Spoon Island. Sidwell and Jordan seem to run into Professor Dalton. General Hospital spoilers update for Tuesday, June 3 reveals that we'll hear Rick Lansing's emergency phone call while Sonny Corinthos gets an apology. Jocelyn Jacks will also get a rescue when someone defends her, so here's what GH fans can look forward to. First, on Tuesday's GH episode, Jordan Ashford and Jen Sidwell will flatter Professor Henry Hank Dalton over his revolutionary ideas before Jordan spends some one-on-one time with him. Over with Trina Robinson, she'll be Jocelyn's defender in Tuesday's show. If Emma Scorpio Drake starts hurling accusations about Jocelyn's research assistant sabotage, Trina might stick up for her. GH fans know Jocelyn really did sabotage Emma and steal her spot, but it's only because she has to complete her WSB mission no matter what. Meanwhile, Dante Falconeri will open up to Sonny about all his tough emotions now that he knows Giovanni Gio Palmieri is his son. Dante will apologize to Sonny, presumably because of their own rocky road to a father-son relationship. Now Dante has a deeper understanding of Sonny's point of view, so he'll spill to Sonny and get some guidance. Later, Jason Morgan will connect with Sonny as well, so that'll give them a chance to discuss the Geo mess, Michael Corinthos' return, and the custody feud that's about to get underway. Next, Jason will have some Carly Spencer drama to contend with. Carly will insist she's going to do everything in her power to make sure her grandkids end up with Michael, not Willow Corinthos. Of course, Jason will want Carly to be careful since there's a lot riding on this custody battle for Michael. Now that Carly's son has made a comeback, Jason may push her to just let Michael handle things with Diane Miller's assistance. However, Carly is sitting on a major revelation and will expose Nina Reeves as the person behind Drew Kane's drugging plot at some point this week. Across town, Alexis Davis will address the money laundering accusations that Marco Rios just hinted at. Marco will be sorry if he's overstepping, but he's clearly concerned about Alexis being in over her head. Alexis may maintain that she's got everything under control and push Marco to just butt out on this. Marco's snooping could bring some worries for Alexis, so stay tuned for updates on any troubling news to come. As for Rick, he'll sound urgent on a phone call and demand that someone get over to the courthouse right away. It's possible Rick will push for an in-person meeting with Alexis, since he's about to deliver more orders to her. Then again, Rick might summon Ava Jerome if there's a blackmail hiccup. Or this might involve somebody else who's part of the custody mayhem instead. While Willow and Michael face off in court, Gio will jump into the confrontation that Brooklyn Quartermain has been having with Lois Cirillo and Gloria Cirillo at the Quartermain residence. Once Gio grills all three of them and angrily speaks his mind, he'll stomp off to stew over the whole situation. Afterward, Brooklyn will interrogate Lois and Gloria about whether they pushed Camilla Palmieri to keep quiet, even after she found out she was terminally ill. If Camilla wanted to confess to Gio, Gloria and Lois may have convinced her that she had to take his true parentage secret to the grave. General Hospital will welcome two-time Emmy winner Robert Gossett back to the scene this week when Marshall Ashford makes his Port Charles return, according to Soap Opera Digest. Despite problems in their marriage caused by Portia's bad choices, Curtis and Portia decide to host a family gathering on Thursday, and Marshall will be in attendance. Gossett exited the soap last October when Marshall was offered a spot touring with jazz musician Wynton Marsalis. 2 months later, Marshall took a tour break for the holiday and visited his family in December. But then he was back on the road playing his saxophone to audiences everywhere. Are Portia and Curtis hosting a party because Marshall is back for good and done with his tour, or is this just a pit stop like at Christmas time when Marshall ought to break in his tour? Maybe he ends up being a surprise guest, and the Ashfords throw a party for a different reason. They want to somehow find a way to bring down Drew, so maybe Marshall will offer some advice. He could also talk to Curtis about forgiveness, since Curtis is still angry at Portia for lying about her Drew mess, or at least not telling him the whole truth. Marshall often had good advice for Curtis, and he could use his dad right about now. Gossett joined the soap as Marshall in 2021, when Curtis' long-lost father re-entered his life. Curtis believed his father had died, but he learned that Marshall had left the family because he believed he suffered from schizophrenia. Marshall eventually learned that he had been misdiagnosed years ago. It took some time, but Marshall and Curtis eventually forged a strong relationship, and he became part of the family. The accomplished musician also began a romance with Epiphany Johnson before her tragic death in 2023. Marshall eventually took over running the Savoy and had several contentious run-ins with Selena Wu, who ran an illegal poker game out of the backroom. Gossett earned 3 Daytime Emmy nominations and won twice in the Outstanding Supporting Actor category for playing Marshall, once in 2023 and once in 2024. Haley Pullos has been off of General Hospital for over 2 years, but now that she's returning to acting, fans are rallying for her Port Charles comeback. It made major headlines in May 2023 when Pullos was charged with a felony DUI. After being sued by the other driver involved in the accident, she spent 90 days in prison. Many remember Pullos for playing Molly Lansing Davis, a role she held for over a decade on GH. After being diagnosed with endometriosis, the character was just about to enter a surrogacy storyline when Pullos had to be temporarily replaced. That year saw 3 different actresses step into the role until GH finally settled on Molly's current portrayer, Kristen Vagenos. After being released from prison in July 2024, Pullos has returned to Instagram, collaborating with photographer Dash Kolos in a post featuring all new headshots. I heart emoji actors, Kolos captioned the photos, along with heart eyes, stars, and flaming heart emojis beside Pullos' name. But it wasn't the stunning new headshots fans in the comments were talking about. Dozens fled the comment section, which has over 200 comments, to share their hopes of Pullos returning to GH. "We want you back on General Hospital," one fan wrote, getting the attention of Kolos with a like, while another simply said, "We need her back." One enthusiastic fan noted that only Pullos could play Molly, and others admitted they wished she was still on the ABC Sudzer, whether it was as Molly or a different character. "If you can't get Molly back, play another character on GH," one hopeful fan wrote. In a riveting turn of events on General Hospital, the Corinthos versus Corinthos custody hearing, which unfolded on June 3, 2025, delivered high-stakes drama that left Port Charles reeling. Tracy Quartermaine orchestrated a calculated revenge against her nephew, Drew Kane, by exposing his secret affair with Mana Reeves, leading to devastating consequences for Willow Corinthos. The fallout prompted Willow to make the heart-wrenching decision to relinquish custody of her children, Wiley and Amelia, and leave Port Charles for good. Tracy's revenge unfolds. Tracy's vendetta stemmed from a humiliating incident on May 20, when she was falsely arrested at the nurses' ball for allegedly drugging Drew with ketamine. Evidence planted in her car fueled the accusation, but Tracy, known for her strategic brilliance, had been biding her time. Armed with proof of Drew's affair with Nina, Willow's mother, Tracy chose the custody hearing to detonate her bombshell. Her testimony stunned the courtroom, exposing the betrayal and dismantling Drew's credibility. As a seasoned tactician, Tracy's move underscored her reputation as a formidable force, unwilling to let betrayals go unanswered. Custody battle escalates. The custody hearing pitted Michael Corinthos against Willow, with tension soaring as both fought for their children's future. Michael's attorney, Diane Miller, presented compelling evidence questioning Willow's ability to prioritize her children's well-being, tilting the case in Michael's favor. Drew, who had promised to secure custody for Willow, faced scrutiny for his questionable influence, including urging Willow to leverage Michael's medical proxy as a bargaining chip. Tracy's revelation about Drew's affair with Nina shifted the tide, exposing a betrayal that cut deeply for Willow and eroded her standing in the case. Willow's heartbreaking exit. The affair's exposure was a crushing blow for Willow, shattering her trust in both Drew and her mother, Nina. Visibly shaken, Willow faced the collapse of her support system and the loss of custody. In a tearful courtroom statement, she announced her decision to surrender custody to Michael, acknowledging that the toxic environment was no longer suitable for her children. Sources indicate Willow is now preparing to leave Port Charles, her life unraveling in one of the most dramatic character arcs in recent General Hospital history. Sasha's courtroom crisis and Carly's bombshell adding to the chaos. Sasha Gilmore Corbin went into labor while testifying, creating a gripping scene as Michael rushed to her side. Speculation swirls about whether Sasha's newborn might share Michael's congenital heart condition, potentially unveiling new truths about parentage. Meanwhile, Carly Spencer dropped another bombshell, accusing Nina of orchestrating Drew's drugging. Whispers of Justinda, a mysterious figure tied to Nina's scheme, suggest Curtis Ashford's investigation could further unravel Nina's credibility, with her testimony poised to be a game-changer. Port Charles faces the fallout. Tracy's revenge has sent shockwaves through Port Charles, damaging Drew's professional standing at ELQ Corporation and isolating Nina as her hypocrisy comes to light. Michael, while securing custody, remains focused on his children's well-being, showing no satisfaction in Willow's downfall. Carly's fierce protection of her family drives her to strategize relentlessly, but her actions may risk unintended consequences. As Port Charles braces for the next wave of drama, the week of June 2 to 6, 2025, promises more twists, from courtroom confessions to shifting alliances, keeping viewers on edge. Tracy Quartermaine faces a defining moment in her life, navigating a complex power struggle within the Quartermaine family on General Hospital. Caught between Michael and Drew, Tracy is no longer dealing with trivial family disputes, but a calculated battle for control. Both men conceal their ambitions behind calm facades, each vying for dominance while Tracy struggles to maintain her influence and protect the family's legacy after Monica's passing. Michael's aggressive push for leadership clashes with Drew's quieter, strategic maneuvering, leaving Tracy in a delicate neutral position. Every decision she makes risks fracturing the family, as she grapples with the fear of losing both men and the respect she's fought to uphold. The tension escalates as Tracy uncovers hidden schemes and unspoken truths, with Michael backed by Carly's ties to Sonny and Drew building discreet financial alliances. These opposing forces represent divergent futures for the family, one rooted in tradition, the other untested and uncertain. Assuming Monica's role, Tracy becomes the family's central figure, making critical decisions to preserve stability. Her strategic moves, private meetings, pointed questions, and bold ultimatums aim to neutralize threats before they spiral. However, her actions intensify the rift between Michael and Drew, turning personal conflicts into a survival game. Tracy's discovery of shocking secrets, including doubts about Wiley's paternity and Amelia's hidden medical condition, forces her to confront the family with hard truths. In a tense meeting, she exposes Michael's shady dealings and Drew's self-serving motives, reshaping the family dynamic with undeniable evidence. Tracy's leadership marks a new era for the Quartermaines, defined by truth and accountability. Her bold proposal to strip Michael of voting rights in family assets underscores her resolve to protect the family, even at the cost of isolating him. As Michael faces mounting distrust and Drew's alliances grow, Tracy wields the truth as her weapon, orchestrating a restructuring of power with precision. Yet, her actions come at a steep price, strained relationships, and a growing sense of isolation. This unfolding saga highlights Tracy's transformation from a sidelined figure to a formidable leader, redefining the Quartermaine legacy. With the family on the brink, her calculated moves aim to purge deceit and secure a stable future, even if it means sacrificing those closest to her. As secrets unravel and loyalties shift, Tracy's resolve signals a new chapter where truth is the foundation for survival. At General Hospital, Sasha lies unconscious in a hospital bed, her body still and pale beneath the sterile white sheets. Following a sudden and premature delivery, she has slipped into a deep coma. Her life now hangs by the thinnest of threads, monitored only by the rhythmic beeping of machines, a sound that now defines the boundary between life and death. Doctors linger outside her room, offering no reassurance. Her brain activity is minimal, and there are no guarantees she will ever wake up. Inside, Michael stands motionless, holding their premature daughter, tiny, fragile, and clinging to life in neonatal care. This infant represents both a beginning and a heartbreaking possible end, the final gift from a woman whose life has been filled with relentless hardship. Sasha's past, riddled with tragedy and resilience, flashes through Michael's mind. Her arrival in Port Charles was built on a lie, not of her own making, but one she lived with grace, forming bonds that later shattered her heart. She narrowly survived poisoning by Cassandra, only to give up her relationship with Michael to help him secure custody of Wiley. That sacrifice broke her emotionally, leading to drug abuse and nearly killing her in a drug-induced heart attack orchestrated by Cyrus. Hope returned when Sasha found stability with Brando and became pregnant. But tragedy struck again when she went into labor too early while trapped in a gallery storage room. Her son Liam didn't survive. Devastated, she spiraled back into addiction and, in a drug-induced haze, accidentally killed Harmony in a car accident. She sought redemption, marrying Brando and leaning on him as her last emotional anchor. That too was ripped away when Brando was murdered by the Hook. The betrayal continued as Gladys, whom Sasha trusted, assumed legal guardianship and exploited her financially. Gladys colluded with a corrupt psychiatrist who drugged Sasha into psychosis and forced her into institutionalization at Ferncliff. Rescue came in the form of Cody, who helped her rebuild her life piece by piece. Slowly, Sasha regained her confidence, believing she could still have a future. When she learned she was pregnant with Michael's child, something within her shifted. She embraced motherhood with quiet strength, committed to protecting her child from the chaos of her past. Sasha stayed away from drama, allowing Michael and Willow to navigate their own challenges, only stepping forward to testify during their custody hearing. But fate dealt another blow. In the middle of her testimony, she collapsed in pain. Blood stained her dress as chaos erupted. She was rushed to the hospital and delivered her daughter prematurely. The baby now fights to survive, but Sasha never opened her eyes again. Now, in the quiet hospital room, Michael kneels at Sasha's bedside, whispering words she may never hear. He holds their newborn close with one arm and Sasha's cooling hand with the other. Her skin feels like porcelain, fragile and cold. The once familiar sound of the heart monitor now serves as his only connection to hope. Flooded with memories, Michael recalls Sasha's laughter, her unwavering resilience, and the countless times she stood back up despite every effort the world made to break her. Her sacrifices, letting him go, losing their son, enduring addiction, betrayal, and manipulation, speak not of weakness, but of remarkable strength. He once mistook her kindness for naivety. Now he understands it was forged from profound suffering. Sasha loved deeply, forgave easily, and believed in others, even when she was given every reason not to. And now, this extraordinary woman may be gone, having given him a daughter who might grow up without ever knowing her mother's touch or voice. The General Hospital spoilers and preview for the week of June 2, 2025, tease a chaotic week in Port Charles. The newly dropped promo reveals gripping courtroom drama, Sasha's sudden labor, and Nina's jaw-dropping exposure that leaves Drew, and viewers, stunned. The promo centers around Willow and Michael's high-stakes custody battle. As the courtroom fills, tension soars between the two former lovers. The hearing is hyped as the trial of the summer, and it lives up to the name. Expect testimony from key players like Tracy and Jocelyn, both tearing into Willow with brutal honesty. Their words leave ripples across the courtroom. Meanwhile, Chase's testimony adds another emotional layer as he's forced to pick sides. With emotions running high, the judge has a difficult call ahead. Sasha's presence on the witness stand takes a shocking turn when she suddenly goes into labor mid-testimony. The courtroom erupts in chaos. Michael leaps to her side, realizing the baby is coming right then and there. This moment might be more than medical. It could lead to shocking truths. If Sasha's baby shares Michael's congenital condition, secrets buried for months may finally be unearthed. The question is, will it happen before or after delivery? Carly chooses this dramatic setting to drop her own bomb. She exposes Nina as the one behind Drew's drugging. The camera captures Nina's horrified reaction as Drew learns the ugly truth. Carly's accusations could have legal fallout, and not just for Nina. Portia's role might be next in line for scrutiny, potentially derailing her medical career. Will this lead to justice or a deeper spiral of deception? The General Hospital spoilers and preview for the week of June 2, 2025 hint at an unforgettable week of chaos, confessions, and complications. With explosive testimonies, surprise labor, and public takedowns, This courtroom battle is just getting started. For more updates, keep watching General Hospital and follow all the drama on Soap Opera Daily. As Michael and Willow's divorce hearing begins, Jordan learns more about Dalton and Brooklyn confronts Lois and Gloria. The next General Hospital spoilers video for Tuesday, June 3, 2025, shows Alexis being accused of money laundering, while Brooklyn makes a startling conclusion, and Michael and Willow's custody battle commences. A horrified Brooklyn asks Gloria and Lois, "The two of you pressured a dying woman into keeping your secret." Perhaps on her deathbed, Camilla wanted to reveal the truth about Gio, and Lois and Gloria put a stop to it. Standing next to Sidwell, Jordan tells someone, "You are about to change the world." The weekly teasers state that Jordan learns more about Dalton, so maybe she's recruiting him for their Esplanade plan. We know she's working against Sidwell and Drew, but she seems like she's being very convincing with whoever she's making an offer to. Alexis asks Marco, "Are you asking me if I'm laundering money?" Alexis, "Laundering money? Say it isn't so." Well, she is hiding the bribery money in a shell corporation, so that dough is probably going through the spin cycle right now. Dante tells Sonny, "I owe you an apology." He should really be apologizing to Gio for verbally beating him up recently. Carly says to Jason, "I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get my grandchildren away from Willow." While Rick frantically tells someone on the phone, "Get down to the courthouse now." The teasers also show that Michael and Willow's divorce hearing begins, as well as the fact that Rick strongarms Alexis, so who knows what the sleazy lawyers got up his sleeve.